goats, most of them are fainting goats. Ooh, more chickens. And they are myotonic goats. When they get a shot of adrenaline, they tend to fall over because their muscles locked up. Like humans, they have a freeze instinct when they're scared. Oh, there he goes. She goes. This is Elphaba. And freeze instinct, and they can seize up and tip over. Like May is fairly myotonic. If you run toward her, then she stiffens up like that. And if you're lucky, on a good day, she will tip straight over. But this is Wendell. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. How are you? Sweet boy. This is a Great Pyrenees, and he barks at critters all night. Oh, look. Cinnamon did go down. She's really myotonic. So some of them are more prone to fainting than others. They don't pass out. They just stiffen up and tip, which someone thought a trait worth preserving. It does seem fairly non-adaptive unless novelty is what's keeping you alive. And this is a sweet boy. How you doing, sweet boy? Yes, sweet Wendell. We have another dog that was recently gifted to us, and she's actually a pretty ferocious girl. We got her recently. She is a Anatolian Shepherd, which are supposedly the meanest, baddest guardian dogs out there, whereas Pyrenees, Great Pyrenees, they merely defend. The Akbash and especially the Anatolian Shepherd will pursue predators of the flock and will hunt them down and kill them. So they were used in Turkey. It's a Turkish national dog to defend against bear. So they're traditionally fitted with a studded collar, a leather collar that prevents the bear from slashing its throat. And if it can't do that, it loses to the Anatolian Shepherd. They can get truly huge. Some features of the barn and barnyard I didn't show you, like the swales, which we planted trees. We have a program called Tree Cycle, and we have planted about 600 trees in the last 2 years with local youth. We've gotten grants to pay young people to learn how to plant trees and to plant them, and to learn how to fix up bikes and how to ride them safely. And so that's our Tree Cycle program, which combines a couple of things that we love, and particularly things that we feel like are very important for the health of the earth. That was a joyous program we've had for the last 2.5 years. It's a tool for mentoring, but it's also a tool for creating leadership in the neighborhood for young people who want a job, love bikes. We try to combine a lot of the things that we love here and do well, and allow them to become the trainers. Incidentally, check out that beautiful ginkgo, oldest tree in the world. It'll come a stormy night and all those leaves will drop at once, and we might get out there and grab them for some tea that we make. Mint and ginkgo is our mentality. So this is a muscadine, which every time we see a chain link fence, we think about trellis. We've planted about 100 grape plants. A muscadine is a grape, and beautiful night. And that will cover the whole chain link fence and become incredibly fruitful. The muscadines are delicious. These are some of the food that we get from the mission. They get it from Trader Joe's and Publix and different places, and we pick up what they can't use and we use it for the animals. We also distribute it to some neighbors because some of it's perfectly good. Had a whole box of goat cheese in there. Here's some of our bikes. We have about 100 bikes that we're presently fixing up. There's our farm shed, And our biodiesel lab, we no longer use the biodiesel lab. That was a project that we outgrew, or that outgrew us. This is let's see if I can make this. This is the permaculture principles, kind of getting overgrown, which is kind of prophetic, for the different kinds of principles summarized by David Holmgren here, for earth care, people care, and fair share. Things like creatively use and respond to change, observe and interact, which is the most important one. Everything's built on observation and getting involved. Catch and store energy, which we do in terms of storing food and making jams and jellies, but also thinking about trees and solar energy, and trees are solar energy, but also photovoltaic, and obtain a yield, self-regulate, accept feedback, use and value renewables, produce no waste. So integrate rather than segregate. And all these have social as well as ecological, or they all have social ecological impacts as well as biological ecological impacts, if those can be distinguished. So yeah, I've got a spot where I can just walk. We created the Trevecca Urban Farm as a response to the fact that Trevecca is in a food desert, and also a place where environmental racism is on display everywhere. Ours is one of the many neighborhoods across the nation that were chosen intentionally as places that would be bisected and dissected by interstate highways when the interstate highways system was put in. You will see them very reliably going through poor neighborhoods of color. And ours is a peninsula in the middle of 3 intersecting highways that are the busiest in the probably the nation in terms of I-40 and I-65, but definitely in our state. And so you get all this exhaust fumes and particulates raining down on people who are already ill-equipped financially to deal with health impacts. And so you have these kind of racialized geographies that ramify in sick bodies, in ways that respiratory illnesses, asthma, happen at an insane rate in our neighborhood, and every other child is expected to get type 2 diabetes in our neighborhood, which is one of the poorest in the state, probably the 4th poorest by the poverty index. So we wanted to create grassroots environmental justice projects that centered on food and air quality. And so we focused on trees, particularly fruit trees, and that ties in with the Tree Cycle program, which is both a way to raise food and to grow clean air. We're in the middle of a little food forest here. This is a jujube, Chinese date. These are plums, pears, nectarines, figs. These figs are just to the east of this big concrete asphalt pad that gets late day heat, which radiates up into the figs and helps keep them a little hotter, which